as someone who's like focused on copy and really good at that, do you ever like feel that like that it's the copy game on Facebook or a lot of ads has been really simplified to like just getting the right first 3 words? Like it's like, I don't know if you see that or pay attention to that, but to me, it's just decreasing that friction of getting someone to even pay attention to those words. I find is does more lift than really writing great copy, sentences of great copy. It's really about getting those first words in a relatable way. So I don't know if we want to like dig into that right now.
Well,
But
just like any copy, whether it be a Facebook ad or whether it be a 40-page Magalog with 15 sidebars that took 3 weeks each to create. Either way, the very first thing is to stop them from doing something else.
right.
And in the written copy world, that's a headline. In the Facebook ad world, that's a creative.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really that what Facebook call a headline. And you have to stop them. And then the very next thing they see has to want them to know more. Yeah. And the truth is, good copy is every thing they watch or sentence they read or thing they engage with has to have them want the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one.
Yeah.
And then it has to drag them in deeper and deeper. Right. In the old, it hasn't changed since the direct mail days, since Claude Hopkins in the 1920s. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. Yeah. Is that you must meet them where they're at. I mean, okay, so they got a problem they're trying to solve, or a job they want to be done, but they don't know what you have, and they don't understand anything about it. So you can't start shouting about your product. Mm-hmm. You have to start with where they're at, and their problem is, well, where they're at is they got a problem. So you have to meet them at the problem, and then you have to draw them in that you have a solution. And still, you're not important until you can prove you got you understand the problem better than they do. Nothing else is important, and your solution is not important.
I mean, look, I agree with everything you just said. I love it. I want to pick your brain more. One of the things that I like play with copy, though, is literally the first word, like the first word to 5 words. The same way I would play with the first second or frame of a video. I play with those words, and I found that by using the word I or you, which you got to be careful with using the word you on Facebook, but there are certain words you can put in there, even using like a weird word as your first word. Like you said, it's about getting people's attention and keeping it and doing something with it. But I've found that there is value in playing with that very, very beginning. Like I think I once used the word moist, which everyone, a lot of people hate that word, but like I literally put that as the first word in a line of copy because I knew it would be attention grabbing. And it worked weirdly. So like, I don't know if you think about that a lot, but I think about just literally the tip of that, the real tip of the spear, is sometimes creates more value than some of that bigger writing. I don't know if this is a tangent worth it.
The truth is every word counts. And the words at the start count more than the words at the end. Way more. In fact, the words at the start count the most. So every word should be tested. And hey, maybe it gets all the attention in the world, but it doesn't get any action. Maybe it gets all the attention, but the attention of the wrong people.
Right. That's the worst thing. Yeah.
So totally agree. I mean, I agree with you. Every word makes a difference, and that's why it comes down to testing. And the more you do it, the more you hypothesize. I think this opening, like the example I gave of the client, where we went back and I cut out the first third of the copy and said, let's just rewrite the stars and see what happens.
Exactly.
But you have to, after you hypothesize and test a lot of things, you start to get an intuition as to what will work. And then it differs by the market, it differs by the season, it differs by the product, it differs by everything. So it's a fluid topic.
Yeah. I'll say this just to punch in, and I know Barry got more questions, so I don't want to interrupt. Yeah. I think if Ogilvy was making Facebook ads, they would crush. Some of these old great ad guys from back in the day. Ads still do great. And I'll say with this, like, I still think the absolute best ad I've ever seen was the Volkswagen Beetle ad that said 0 to 60. Yes. If that was a Facebook ad, you get test drives tomorrow. And I used to run $1 million a month or more for Nissan, and we never had anything that elegant. And to your point here of just like, does the copy matter? If the headline was 0 to 60, yes, and just a picture of a Beetle, but like small in the whole thing, it would crush.
It wouldn't.
It would totally crush.
In 2022? No way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't know how disruptive that would be in the ecosystem?
Maybe. And
Like,
look,
if you're in the market of getting a whole bunch of car ads in your feed, that would be great. Like,
look,
I just think that my point to that is those first few words do really matter. And I'll frame it in this case. I'm a big fan of the concept of the golden circle. And I would much, much rather die trying to be Apple than struggle to prove my worth trying to be IBM. And I think so many brands, so many businesses make the mistake of trying to tell people why they're good instead of trying to care about the customer in any way. And I think that's just a fundamental piece. So I just wanted to do that just because
I would say this. Piece. I have had discussions with world-class copywriters at the, probably in the top 5 copywriters alive today, where the discussion will go on for 45 minutes about a couple of words. I mean, it matters that much.
I love it.
Because they know that the right connection with the right person at the right time for the right problem to be solved for the right solution is millions of dollars is on the line. So every word counts.
I agree.